come here. So,
okay.
My name is Ashwin, and I am new to this city, but hopefully I will be here more often and be more involved with the art scene here and work more often with you. I run Ashvitas, which is an art gallery and auction house based in Madras, Chennai, which is at the south of India. And I have been focusing on this artist, Raza, for a while now. And it is Raza's 100th year of his birth anniversary. And it's a very important year because he is one of the most significant modern masters of Indian art. And there's been a lot of exhibitions for him, and it's all going to culminate finally at the Centre Pompidou on the 15th of February with a retrospective. It's the first time I think an Indian artist is going to get a retrospective in Paris, and Raza lived all his life in Paris, from the 50s all the way to 2010. He lived here, so he is as much a French artist and part of French art legacy as he is of India. And which is why we decided we will do that show here. Yuri plays a very important role because it was his grandmother that started this gallery, and in 1955 had Raza's first solo show here, and kind of kick-started his career, and they worked together till 1972, 71.
Yeah, he left the gallery in
yes.
71.
But it was those years that established Raza, it made Raza who he was, and kind of propelled him into this stardom. And which is why we thought it was very important that we should do this show here. A lot of the artworks that you see, they start from the 1950s and travel all the way till about 2006. But it kind of is like a cross-section of Raza's various engagements with different series, styles, and techniques. But Raza, interestingly, has always been a painter of the landscape and nature. So everything that he does has always surrounded one particular topic. And if you read about him, I can speak for the next 4 hours about Raza, but if you read about him, you'll understand that a lot of his storytelling and narrative comes from his life and childhood in India, reflected in the artworks through a French interpretation of the various styles of painting, and he's always connected between India and his French life and being living here, and all the art movements that took place around the world at the time in the 50s and 60s. So that is a quick introduction to Raza, and I would invite Yuri to say a few words as well.
Non, mais moi je vais plutôt, merci. Je vais plutôt parler de Raza et de ses liens avec la galerie Lara Vincy. En fait, ma grand-mère décide à la fin des années 40, avec pour projet d'ouvrir une galerie. Et je passe sur les détails. Et en 1955, elle arrive à réaliser ce projet en trouvant ce lieu. Et Raza est un des premiers artistes qui va exposer l'année même, mais avec d'autres en groupe. Mais elle tombe vraiment amoureuse de sa peinture dès cette époque. Et elle fait tout auprès des critiques, notamment Jacques Lassaigne, pour lui obtenir le prix de la critique en 1956. Ils lui ont décerné, mais je sais qu'elle a beaucoup fait pour tout ça. Et à partir de là, ça a quand même été un succès. Il y a eu son expo personnelle qu'ils ont organisé ici au printemps 58, dont vous pouvez voir une photo du dîner là-bas qui a suivi ce vernissage. Et voilà, et cette collaboration, ils étaient vraiment étroitement liés parce que ça va durer jusqu'en 71. Et donc toute la production parisienne de Raza, elle est passée par cette galerie à cette époque, et ça représente plus de 1000 œuvres, puisqu'il les numérotait pi, etc. Et on sait qu'il a atteint presque les 1000. Voilà. Et ça ne comprenait pas par contre s'il faisait une exposition directement en Inde, là c'était numéroté autrement. Voilà. Mais bref, ils ont été quand même très liés. Alors c'est ma grand-mère et ma mère, c'était les deux ensemble avec lui. Et vous pouvez lire une lettre qu'il adresse à ma mère dès 56, avec un autoportrait de lui au stylo gris. Il prend sa tête parce qu'il est angoissé de l'expo qui vient, et on voit bien tout ce qui se passe dans la tête de l'artiste à ce moment-là. Voilà.
Excellent.
Alors, moi je n'ai pas terminé. Just a few words more. Moi, quand ma mère est partie, quand elle est partie en 2015, qu'elle a quitté ce monde, j'ai organisé une expo Raza à l'automne 2015 pour essayer de recréer un lien avec ma grand-mère, étonnamment, et aussi pour des raisons pratiques de succession. Et donc cette exposition s'est très bien passée, il y a eu une belle ambiance, enfin il y a eu quelque chose. Alors je me suis dit pourquoi pas une autre fois, mais avec cette fois un collaborateur, et voilà, c'est Ashvita. Et merci.
Thank you.
Pour
Thank
tout
you.
ça.
And
Et
talking
merci
about,
à vous d'être là.
and talking about collaboration, Raza has been a very important part of this dialogue of culture between India and France, and which is why it has been very important for us and an honor to have our chief guest for this evening, His Excellency, Mr. Ashraf. Could I have you here, sir, for just a few minutes? And no better person to speak about the relationship between India and France, and this has actually been very special. There's a lot of activity going on back in India to promote the cultural science exchange between the two countries, and I would like to ask Mr. Jawad to say a few words about this relationship between India and France.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll speak in, sorry, I'll speak in English. Je suis désolé, je ne parle pas français. But Yuri, Ashwin, thank you very much for inviting me. First, for a diplomat, it always feels a little intimidating to come into a gallery of art experts and artists and to try and speak about it. But first, it's for me, this Rue de Seine is one of my favorite streets in Paris and the surrounding area. So whenever I have a chance, I do walk in this area. In part because to me, in some ways, it speaks of Paris. And the way I imagine Paris, or I imagined Paris before I came here. But I didn't realize that there was a very special connection to India through this art gallery, which is now almost 6 decades. 7 decades in the making.
Soon,
So
next
70 years. And well, I mean, to me, we spoke about, I don't want to speak too much about India and France relations because they're in a good place. And when things are in a good place, you don't speak too much about it. But there is an aspect about it which I would like to speak, but a little bit word about Raza. Of course, we are very excited that we'll have a Raza retrospective in Centre Pompidou next year, which was also part of the joint statement between President Macron and Prime Minister Modi. And so we are very committed to realizing it. COVID was an interruption, but very happy that it is now going to take place. But this is also very special because this is where his life journey began. And for every artist there is an angel. And for Raza it was your grandmother in many ways, and this gallery was a place which really gave him the wings to express himself, because you always need that space. For an artist like it, every artist's life or his work, whether it is written work or a visual, is a reflection of the cumulative experiences of an artist. So if you're a writer, your words are a reflection of your cumulative life experiences. I think it's the same for painters. So what we see here today is quite remarkable. It spans in 12 works, you really span an art journey. And for that, you can see the experiences, whether it was India in his childhood, the nature that has stayed with him. Paris in the early 50s, great, recovering from trauma of a war, the urban landscape, which he had already seen in Mumbai. But also that was a period of hope, because we were coming out as an independent country. Europe was recovering from a trauma of a war. It was a moment of great intellectual pursuit. And I think he was a wise man to come to Paris, because if there's one city over the past century that has both embraced the work and has given to the world in the field of art and culture, it has to be Paris, more than any other city. So first thing, I'm always struck by his boldness and wisdom in coming to Paris and making this his home. And in many ways, I think Paris owned him, embraced him, made him part of his own life, but it never left India behind. We also experienced something of the United States. So nature, urban landscapes, 3 continents literally as part of his life, different metals, different material, different surfaces, and so this is really an artist, I think, who has made an enormous contribution to projection of Indian modern art on the world stage, particularly in Europe. And to me, this takes me to, as we celebrate 75 years of India's independence, as we celebrate 75 years of India-France diplomatic relations and 25 years of strategic partnership, I think he, in a sense, embodies the spirit, the soul, and the heart and the mind of this relationship. Because while we do the hard stuff in diplomacy, I think the relationship really lies in the hearts and minds of people, and it expresses itself more vividly in the field of art and culture. And when I look at the relationship, I think one of the things that we need to do more is really in the realm of art and culture. Because we do a lot together in diplomacy, political, security, economic, defense. And whenever we have come together as two people, French and Indians, we have always been in deep appreciation of what we each stand for and what we bring to the world. Each a distinct and unique heritage, each a distinct and unique civilizational, cultural treasure, and with a deep and abiding faith and belief in our heritage and our culture, and a deep sense of appreciation of each other, what we have and what we give to the world. So I'd like this really to be something which becomes more prominent in our relationship. And I certainly think that with people like Ashraf here, we can do more to bring modern Indian art to France. And I believe that the transformation that India is going through, the diversity it represents, the unique heritage that we bring, that have found expression in such wonderful works of modern art that the world needs to see. Not because it's a window to this extraordinary journey of India over the 75 years and on the foundation of millennia of a rich civilization, but also because there in each of those works you see a universal message of humanity, universal experiences that express themselves that only Indian artwork can do, with the most vivid colors, with the most vivid forms, most beautiful patterns. And I think there is a great opportunity for us to interpret India in France, to express India in France, not just through performing arts, through music and dance and all that we do as diplomats, but also through the visual expression of India. But I'm really happy to be here today, both because, as I said, the street is one of my favorites in Paris, quintessentially Parisian, but also because I am here for a very special exhibition that celebrates the life of one of our great painters, honored beautifully and in a great way by both the government of France and the government of India. And to us, as we look forward to this relationship, which will be consequential in many ways, he embodies in his life and in his work all that is beautiful about our partnership, all that is beautiful about our two countries, and all that we can do together going forward into the future. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Lastly, you must all be wondering why there is a gentleman seated on the floor with a tambura. That is Aditya Madhavan, and he is a young but very popular and prominent Carnatic musician from Madras, from South India. And we had invited him here because Raza wasn't only about art and paintings, but Raza actually, in fact, the Raza Foundation, after Raza passed away, has a very large endowment for supporting other performing arts. And almost every week back in Delhi, the Raza Foundation conducts concerts and things, and Raza loved music. So we thought it would be the best tribute. And poetry. So we thought it would be a great thing to do here this evening. So all of you, please be comfortable. Aditya is going to perform. He will tell you a little bit about what he is going to sing, but I'm sure it's going to delight all of you. And please be comfortable. This it may be about 20-25 minutes. Aditya is going to perform for us, and enjoy. and we're all here to talk. And Aditya will explain what he's doing.
Merci.
Merci. Bonjour. I'm going to join Ashwin and His Excellency and talk in English. And it really is a great privilege to be a part of this amazing event. It's really heartwarming to know about Raza, the artist, and here to perform in this venue, in this hallowed street, as Sir just mentioned. It's truly blissful. It's a great, I find this a very interesting opportunity to share what I have observed and gained while studying music. As he mentioned very aptly about confluences of two nations, I am going to present the confluence of two different art forms, subgenres within India. We have the South Indian classical form of music, which is what I practice mainly. We have the North Indian form of music, classical form of music which diverges into other art forms, mainly ghazal. Ghazal is a set of romantic poetry which is tuned to melody. So I am here to try to provide you an experience which will be a confluence of both these art forms. And if you're wondering what this instrument is, it's called a tambura. This is used to maintain pitch. We play this as we sing. This gives us the pitch for us to sing. So thank you everyone once again for joining us. I'll be kicking off my program right now and hope you enjoy.